Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we had that Microsoft Xbox and Bethesda showcase yesterday, and there's a whole lot to cover from that. And will God of War Ragnarok make it out this calendar year? We've got those topics and more to cover, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can keep you up to date with all the latest gaming news. Now let's get started. So let's start off with that Xbox and Bethesda showcase. First, they want to let us know that everything in this showcase is planned to come out in the next 12 months. But as we've learned in the past year, games can be delayed. So first off, let's start off with Redfall. Now, this is from the same team that did Dishonored and Prey, and this is a co-op first-person shooter. And this is coming to Game Pass Day 1 and should launch sometime in the first half of 2023. Next we see a trailer for Silksong, and this is coming to Game Pass Day 1, and this should confirm that the game at least is going to get released sometime in the next 12 months, and we're not given a specific date. Next we have High on Life, which is a sci-fi shooter from the creators of Rick and Morty, and this is dated for October of this year. And then they announced a partnership with Riot Games that will include bonus goodies for mobile games like League of Legends Wild Rift. Then we have A Plague Tale Requiem, and this is supposed to be out sometime in 2022. Then we had the new Forza Motorsport game, and I must say this looked really good. This is set to come out sometime in the spring of 2023. And they emphasized it was built from the ground up, including real-time ray tracing and a dynamic time of day system where they really like to show off the ray tracing and all the shadows and stuff. And then we see a new Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is the 40th anniversary of it, and they emphasized that this was the longest running franchise in Microsoft's gaming. And this version is going to have some new aircrafts in it, including helicopters and gliders. And then as a side note, they announced that the Halo Infinite Pelican is an add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator and is available right now. And then we have Overwatch 2, and this is going to go into early access on October 4th, and this will be free to play, and they also introduced some new characters. Now, if you're a big Overwatch fan, they will have a dedicated stream on the Overwatch YouTube channel on June 16th, where you can learn a lot more about what's coming in the game. Then we have ARA History Untold, which is a turn-based strategy game, and this is going to be on PC only. And then later this year, we're going to get an expansion for Fallout 76 called The Pit. And this is going to take place in a post-nuclear area of Pittsburgh. And then, as we saw leaked out last week, we do get Hot Wheels returning to Forza Horizon, and this will be coming out on July 19th. And for First in Forza, this will have co-op from the very beginning. And then we have a really short trailer for Ark 2, and this features a full CG of Van Diesel. And this is set to release in the first half of 2023. Then we have Scorn, which is a first-person horror adventure game, and that's coming out on October 21st, just in time for Halloween. Then we have Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, and this is an open-world RPG, and this is set to come out early 2023. And then in a game announcement I know my nephews will love, we have Minecraft Legends, which is a new game in the Minecraft series, and this is set to launch in the first half of 2023. And then we have Lightyear Frontier, which is a farming type game where you build up your homestead, farm alien crops, and this is set to release in spring of 2023. Then we have a roguelike game, Gunfire Reborn. And in this you get to pick different characters, and you've got 2 to 4 player co-op. And this is coming out in October. Then we have The Last Case of Benedict Fox, and this is scheduled to come out in the spring of 2023. And this is a Metroidvania style game from Rogue Games, and this looks pretty interesting to me. I definitely like this style of game, so I'll be checking this one out. And then we have As Dusk Falls, which is probably my most skippable game of the show. It's basically an interactive TV show done in a storyboard style, and it has branching paths depending on decisions you make. But if this sounds like your kind of game, it'll be coming out July 19th. And then we have one of the best-selling PC games from 2021, and that's Naraka Blade Point. And this is coming out June 23rd, and this game features melee combat and world exploration for up to 60 players. And then we have an announcement from Obsidian for a game called Pentiment, and this is going to be coming out in November. And this is set in 16th century Bavaria, and will take place over the span of 25 years. Now expect more information to come out about that before its release in November. And then we have Grounded, which moves from a game preview to a full game this September. And this is a plot straight out of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And this full release will include a playable campaign. And then we have Irban Shadow Legacy, which is described as a fast-paced, story-driven stealth platformer. And this is expected sometime in the first half of 2023. And then we got some extended footage of Diablo 4, and they announced a new class of Necromancer, and this is set to come out in 2023. And this will feature cross-play, cross-progression, and couch co-op. And then we have the 7th season of Sea of Thieves coming July 21st. And this will give players the ability to name and customize their ships as well as save loadouts between sessions. And then what's described as a fairy tale reimagining, we have Ravenlock coming in the first half of 2023. And then we have Cocoon, which comes from the lead game designer of Limbo and Inside. And it's described as mastering the world-leaping mechanics to unravel a cosmic mystery, and this is coming in the first half of 2023. And then we get a game from Team Ninja, Wulong Fallen Dynasty, and this is sort of a dark fantasy action game, and this is set to release early 2023. And then we have an announcement of a collection of several Persona games coming. We have Persona 5 Royal, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 3 Portable. And these will be coming to Xbox and Windows PC on October 21st. And then we get the rumored announcement that Kojima is working with Microsoft on some type of cloud technology game, but there really was no game announced, just that they're doing something. And then finally they close out the showcase with an extended look at Starfield. And I must say there was a bit of a mixed reaction in the chat on this. I'll say the character models didn't really look that great, but the game does look like it has a whole lot of depth to it. You have a character creation, you even have a ship creator, and there's crafting in this. They showed a little bit of puzzle solving as well as some action in it, and then they closed out saying that you would explore over 1,000 planets. Now I do have to wonder, will all 1,000 planets be available at launch, or will we get maybe like 5 and then they just keep adding more? And then I have to wonder, how big are the planets? Do you go down to a planet and it's just one single stage? Now we don't have a date for release for this, but we'll have to assume that it's going to be sometime in the next 12 months, which is what the whole showcase was about. And that was a summary of the entire 90-minute presentation in about 8 minutes. So let me know what you think. Were there any things here that you liked? And were there any games that you were hoping to see that weren't there? And in other news of games that weren't there, we keep hearing back and forth about whether God of War Ragnarok is going to be this year or next year. Well, we have this headline here from Bloomberg: Sony PlayStation's new God of War video game planned for November. Now, we had a report from Game Reactor last week that said the game was slipping to 2023. You combine that with its absence from various digital presentations last week, and it seemed that this speculation held water. Well, this article goes on to say, The highly anticipated PlayStation game God of War Ragnarok is planned for release this November, according to 3 people familiar with the game's development, despite reports this week that it had slipped from 2023. Publisher Sony Group Corp is expected to announce the release date later this month, 2 of the people said. Now this makes me wonder if Sony will do a dedicated state of play for Ragnarok sometime in the next 2 weeks. But either way, it does seem like this game is going to come out sometime before the end of the calendar year. Next, this year marks the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, and we have this announcement here from the Final Fantasy VII Remake Twitter account. Join us next week for around 10 minutes to celebrate 25 years of Final Fantasy VII. And then they have the announcement down here that it's going to take place June 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Now, I'm not expecting much out of this. With it being only 10 minutes, I doubt we could get anything substantial in the ways of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. But who knows, they might just give us a logo for the game. And finally, in a neat little bit of retro gaming news, it looks like a long-lost port of Quake to the Game Boy Advance has been found. This article here from Forest Illusion states, the year is 2002 and Randy Linden is hard at work porting Quake to the little handheld system called the Game Boy Advance. If that name rings a bell, Linden is a veteran game developer best known for the creation of the Bleem emulator as well as the groundbreaking SNES port of Doom, the latter of which was considered impossible by id themselves. Given his prior experience, a Game Boy Advance port of Quake seemed a logical step in his career. This unreleased prototype we present to you today was recently discovered on a 256 meg flash card in Linden's storage and is certainly a far cry from anything else developed for the handheld. Now what I can see from the footage here, it looks like it's mostly the levels and I really haven't seen any enemies to engage in during the footage. So I do have to wonder if he may have had a newer prototype somewhere. But needless to say, this is kind of a cool port, and if you go to the link to the article in the description here, they do have it available to download, so you can try it out either on an emulator, or if you have a flash card for the Game Boy Advance. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? Were you excited about anything at the Xbox Bethesda showcase? And do you think God of War Ragnarok will make it out this calendar year? Drop a comment about those topics or anything else we covered today. I want to thank you for watching and be good.